Good evening, everyone. I'm Bagadon, Stock Market Caddy, and those of you that might be stopping by, we are live broadcasting. I say live broadcasting, you are on a delay due to YouTube, not on our fault, or not on our end. Probably best to put your YouTube into high def to get the best view. So you are on delay. We do these little free sessions to give you an idea. Oops, I got to take this call. I'm sorry. We'll be back a little bit, but take your time. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Um, Let me just mark the time because you are on a delay. It is precisely 8:33 and 54 seconds, 55 seconds. YouTube has you on a 30-second delay. Um, just a kind of a mini um, in-service, if you will. Swing Machine is a very sophisticated algorithm that is giving us quite a bit of information here. It isn't a red light, green light system. It doesn't use moving averages. They wouldn't work. But if you're trying to, play along, which I want you to follow it, but I wouldn't want you trading, um, trying to trade because it takes, um, during the Q school, we spend, well, the whole few weeks. This is an ever present view, but it takes 1 to 2 weeks to learn everything that this is presenting. So I can't even get in and do it fairness for you or Swing Machine. But the signal comes from here on the interval of your choosing. This tells us how many segments it's been long or short. So 36 minutes ago, the ESU went long 36 minutes, and the interval was 1 minute, therefore 36 minutes. And that was the price. That was the time. It was at 8:01. And it was today. And this gives us the trending information. This gives us a trade count. We've turned the trade counter off in the evening. It runs just from 4 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. It counts the number of trades. And then this gives us our it's really a probability map and measured in panic and euphoria. And we can use this on any interval. We're trying, our members are using this in a very specific fashion to get onto the trend. Right now, this long that you see here is a counter trend to the 5 minute. It's a counter trend. Counter trends are more frequent. They pay less, must be extremely disciplined. And, so I'm happy to answer any other questions. And if you have any questions, feel free. I won't be here all night, but I'll let you watch to give you an idea of what is going on. This particular desktop has the person's name. We have a person that is in his second week of Q school. He's done very, very well, and so we have built this out for him and what he's watching. Now, earlier today, I'll just show you. We were running a automated complete. Now, Swing Machine. Let me go back here. All of this can be fully automated. Okay, so it can be fully, the trades can be going in by the machine, and they can have profit targets and stops, and we can put trade counters on to trade so many times a day. We can put things in programs that say, if I've made X amount of money by such and such a time, turn it off. We can run hedging strategies, one market against another, one strategy against another, just an infinite number of possibilities. And what comes with a membership to Stock Market Caddy, more valuable than Swing Machine, more valuable than any one robot or indicator or show me study, is what we believe is the education that we try to impart. Now, just to give you an idea, today, though, you see the screen line here? This morning, I was with our member, Stefan, who's in his Q school, and we started at 7:30 right in here, and we were having a Q school session from 7:30 to 8:30, he and I. And right at this time, well, we turned on the strategy right about here, and this was the first trade, and it went in at 8:48. And the particular strategy that we're running was using a 3-line break chart, and it was totally robotic. And this is what it did. Now, it did better than that because we turned it off. See right here? This was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we turned it off. So between this time and that time, 3, the strategy did in this account 7,580, 60. Now, Stefan was shadowing it at home. And he may have done more than that. He may have done a little less than that, but he probably had a pretty good day. He's done very well with everything. Now, we use all kinds of different charts still in conjunction. So he would be using Swing Machine to help manage the trades. Now, had we stayed and traded the last hour, this trade from here to here is probably about it probably would have added another couple of $1,000, right? Now, but we do control. We're very mechanical, very disciplined. Where time in the market is also a risk parameter. So we emphasize spending as little time in the market as possible. You got to spend some time. You got to get up to bat. But we don't stand up there all day, every day, and just start flailing away. And we're not flailing away. We have a posture, we have a setup, and we force the market. If you want to drift from a golf analogy to a baseball analogy, we're forcing the market to pitch to us. And we're just very, very disciplined, and we're very mechanical. We're very robotic. And that's easier said than done. We don't, as a result, we're asked all the time, and I mean this in the nicest of ways. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes we'll get these phone calls that will say, the person will say, well, I saw that program and I want to know, what's that performance record? How much money are you making? What's your percentage return? And yada, yada, yada. I don't have a problem, having a discussion around that, but I want you to know, okay, and I hope you hear this in my voice, and I truly mean this. I'm not a broker. I am not a financial advisor. We are not legally equipped to give specific buy and sell recommendations on anything. And we do not. We are an educational site. And the truth of the matter is, I'm totally fine with that, because our whole approach is teaching folks how to trade, learning to trade, not my game, not Susan's game, not someone else's game, but your game. And so you have to take that responsibility in. Now, when it comes to individual strategies, I am the very first person to acknowledge and let you know, if there's anybody out there in the Twitter sphere or on YouTube or passing through, if you are looking, now Swing Machine is very good, okay, but it is not a holy grail. There isn't a holy grail. There is not. And if anybody is out there looking for a holy grail, I think you're going to be disappointed in your search. There isn't one, unless you have a hedge fund that is getting the order flow, in advance. And we don't. We're on the same path as everyone else. That said, these robots, although they may not vacuum up the money like a iRobot can vacuum up, your dog hair and around the house, at times it does feel like that at times. And at times it can do that sort of thing. But the important thing is the operator. So let me give you another, for instance. I come from a surgery background. There's a company out there, if you're a stock trader, called Intuitive Surgical. The symbol is ISRG. ISRG. They sell a surgical robot. And you may even see bulletin boards on your expressways that, St. Joseph's Hospital in downtown Tampa, offers robotic surgery, right? It sounds very sexy. It is very sexy. It's a very sophisticated robot. I've been in the robot. I've operated the robot. But am I equipped to take out your gallbladder? or do open heart surgery on it? No, I'm not. Okay, that wouldn't be a good idea. You need to be a surgeon. So if you look at the iSurge, if you ever go to their website, it's a really fantastic device. It's unbelievable, right? But and how it came to be, it was actually developed from the military to be. The idea was the surgeons were going to be behind the field, behind the front lines, and these robots could do surgery up forward. But it has a whole bunch of other benefits to it as well. But I digress. The but the wording that they use is the wording that I've adopted because I see this as the same thing, and that is it is a um, um, how do they put it? Surgically, I want to say acquired, a surgical assisted trading, excuse me, a surgical assisted device or a surgical assisted robot. This swing machine is just one of many, and we use the same terminology. These are trade assisted devices, trade assisted tools. It is a tool, just like any other tool. So you might be able to go to Lowe's, or a person could go to Lowe's, buy themselves a miter saw and some other tools. And just because you buy all those tools, decide to come home and make yourself a staircase, or God knows, you ever try to make miter cuts? I had to make miter cuts. The eaves in my house developed I got a little hole. And so I had to make these little cuts. Well, son of a bitch, you would think that was so easy, right? For a carpenter, for somebody who has acquired skill that does it day in and day out, no big problem. But I had the skill saw, I had the wood, I had the instructions. I'm like, how hard is this going to be? Well, I had a stack of wood that I could have, had a small, using my fireplace. It wasn't that easy. Don't ask me, what that was all about. But, in the hands, the US Open, this past week, the golfers, it looks ridiculously easy. And to them, it might be. But they have hit millions of golf balls. And they approach it, their posture, their setup, their approach is the same. Do they hit every shot perfectly? No. No, they don't. But their misses are small. They're not getting 10s and 12s and triple bogeys, and they're not, right? So it is trading. I didn't want to use surgery as, even though that's where my background is from, as a foil, if you will, as an example, because I thought it'd be a little, it's interesting to me, but maybe not to everyone else. But I think golf is also a great foil for trading because it's a lot of it's very similar, and it just is. Do you have to be a trader? Do we have traders that are better than me? I'm sure of that. Sure of that. Folks that maybe had no trading experience before, they put in, our members work extremely hard, put in a tremendous amount of time, effort, capital, and they get really, really good. But it is an acquired skill. You have to put in the time. I was watching an interview of Gary Player, and he was talking to young golfers, and he just, you have to put in the time. Now, the way that we trade, the reason why we built these tools, though, is it is so that you're not tethered, or our members are not necessarily tethered to their machines. They can get up and go to the bathroom. They can go to the mailbox. They can get on a treadmill. They might even be able to run to the store. Some are really, really pushing the envelope. It's not something I would recommend, but some are pushing the envelope and actually getting other things done, right? But I wouldn't suggest that. But with the technology that's available today, the high speed, the iPads, the iPhones, the ability to have things available to you is can for the person who, and I had a nice conversation with a gentleman today. I always say this, and I truly do mean it. The mature trader, and that mature trader, by the way, may be, a young guy in his 20s or 30s. I've met many a person that is in their 20s and 30s, and they're very mature. And I've met many people in their 50s and 60s that are very immature, and just have a worldview or a trading view that is impenetrable. They come to us with, their mind made up. I don't. I don't present what we're doing. And by the way, we have members here, and I apologize to them. They know we do these YouTube videos. So if you guys want to turn this down, they've heard this many, many times. But I believe this with all my heart. We share with you what we do, but we believe there is a trading personality. Even though we're trading mechanically and robotically, everybody brings their life experiences and those perspectives to the game, and that's great. It's a great thing, and so we don't say that this is the only way to hit the golf ball, or the only way to make those miter cuts in surgery or whatever it is. And in fact, we ask you to share it with us, so don't leave me behind. It's a kind of a collaborative effort, but that's what we're doing. There are, in the end, there are only four ways to trade: trend follow long, trend follow short, counter trend, counter trend. No matter what it is you're trading, time, line break, point and figure, you need to know what those trades are, because depending upon what you're about to do, the trading characteristics are critically important. If you don't know, when you put a trade on, if you don't know what type of trade you're putting on, then you can't have any expectations of outcome. And if you don't know, and if you think about this, if you don't know what to expect, then you're going to be anxious. I would be. When you get in your car, and this is the thing I make, another analogy. When you're 16 to 17 years old and you got your license and you get in the car for the first time, I know me, I was so excited. Man, I'm going to get in that car, and man, I'm going to leave that little street that I lived on. I'm going to go down to the beach and see all the high school girls. And man, I felt 10 feet tall. And I had to roll the windows down and get the stereo blaring. Look at me. And I'm driving, and I'm free. It was empowering, right? Adrenaline rush. That's probably why car insurance is so high when you're 18 or 16 to 25. Today, when I go to get in the car to go to Lowe's to get the wood, that was a job I did some time ago. I didn't have to do it today, thank goodness. But I don't even give it a thought, right? I don't get no adrenaline rush. I get in the car, I drive to Lowe's, I come back. You know what? I've probably done it so many times that I may not even remember it, which is a little scary, right? You don't even think about it. It's like brushing your teeth. You go to the store and you come back. If you are getting a vicarious thrill out of trading, I'm okay with that initially. But if you've been doing this for any length of time and you're still doing that, that's a problem. That's a problem, because for us, this is a job. It's a business, and these tools are helping us to control that emotion. We're operating machinery, and it's all scalable. And that's the other good news. The purses that you're seeing 54 minutes ago, this is the same trade. This 1 minute when we kicked on, right about the time we kicked on, I think it was a little bit before 8 o'clock. If you had taken this trade long at 3747.75 tonight, just 54 minutes ago, yeah, you're up $925. And we have members that probably are. And we have some other members that are, and I'm going to be there shortly watching the hockey game. If you use a micro, you're up $92. If you used 10 minis, you're up $10,000. It's scalable. And what we teach is transferable. I was asked that question, which I think is a very good question. Our approach is transferable, and our approach is scalable. Our tools, though, are unique, and we're constantly working on them. So, in any case, I thank you for stopping by. I'm not going to talk all night. I'm actually going to go see some of the hockey game. If you want to know more about who we are and what we're doing, by all means, feel free to visit stockmarketcaddy.com. We're small, right? It's a mom and pop. Our business is trading for ourselves. Stock Market Caddy is a labor of love. It came about in 2012, before Twitter. We've been doing this a long time. Well, isn't something we've been doing just for 6 months or 6 years. We've met a lot of people along the way. We've taught a lot of people. We've learned every time we do it. I always get excited to meet new people. I like people. I learn from them. I loved what I did with surgery. I met, just fascinating people. And what I like about this for me is that it's very dynamic, and I do learn. You will bring your perspectives, and the questions that you ask as a new person is it's good for us. It is true that when you need to teach a person, it's good. It's humbling because it keeps us grounded. We come back and the person will ask us questions that maybe we don't think about anymore. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's, why you just said this, you just said that, you just did this, why? Or, why? This trade. So this was the tea time was 8:01 as an example on the ES 57 minutes ago. That's $1,200. The NQ on the 1 minute, $2,000. 24 minutes ago on the YM, 645, 24. These markets are commoditized. What do I mean? The S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell, for all intents and purposes, they're all a commodity. They all move together, more or less. You would be shocked. Let's look at the 5 minute. This 5 minute interval went long at 8:55. The NQ, 8:55. The YM, 8:55. The Russell, 8:55. It wasn't based on a moving average. Wasn't based on MACD. What it was based on, someplace in the world, some hedge fund generated a buy program, and we see it. We see their money flowing in and out. I was also asked by another nice gentleman today, do you use volume? No, we don't. Volume to us is just a distraction. It's ludicrous. It has nothing to do with nothing. And that might sound like heresy because a lot of people, are doing these, and they probably do very well, these volume at price things and everything else. We just think it's kind of nonsense. What we're interested in isn't so much volume, but liquidity. The difference between the bid and the ask. We need markets that are highly liquid. Right now, these markets the volatility is still quite high, the sphere of the markets. And even though it's 9 p.m., these markets are still pretty liquid. They're most liquid during the morning sessions. When we when we don't have a person in the Q school, and we do, he has another week to go in the Q school. One of the things that we're doing now is from 4 a.m. to noon every single day, we tee up a program. Now, our annual members have their own programs, our programs, so they can choose to run and do whatever they want. And they have the education and the experience to do that. And and we try to act as a catalyst, as a conduit to share what people are doing. But if they want to patch in and see what we're running, they can. And if they want to reach out to us, they can. The other plan is, which we haven't been doing much of late. Well, of late we are. And then the other plan is from noon until the afternoon, we will focus on, we'll put our algos onto the stocks and trade options. So we can do this not just with futures, but we like futures because there's no time decay. They're highly liquid, and it's just just a beautiful thing. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I know Tina's probably here. Hello, Tina. Someday we're going to have Tina in the Caddy Shack. She's been shadowing us for quite a while, but that's fine. It's free to follow us on Twitter. It's free to follow us on YouTube. Hopefully, they say, whoever they is, that the first step in learning anything is, one, you have to have a passion and an interest in whatever that is. Because if you don't, who cares, right? If you don't have an interest in something, then, obviously, and there's plenty of things I don't have interest in, and I'm not interested in learning them. But the first step is sometimes a difficult step. And this is where the maturity comes into play. And that is when you become aware of something that you don't know. It's an important step, because there's plenty in this world that I don't know. And there's plenty in this world when it comes to the market that I don't know. I come into this every single day, and I will arm wrestle you and everyone for the right to say that I am the most ignorant person in the market. I want to be able to move left and right. I don't want to have any preconceived biases or arrogance at all. It's also pretty good to go through life as well on that way, but that's also transferable. But you become aware of something that you don't know and someone else is doing it. And then you set out to find a mentor, someone that can teach you how to throw that little fly on the end of a fly rod. And that's what we try to do during the Q School, is to take the person and to make them consciously competent. Now, they may have to think for a few weeks or a few months. Okay, what is Swing Machine showing me? And what is that? And what is this? But what happens is, we have folks that have been with us for years. They're just reacting. They are just like getting in the car and driving to the store. They are just like putting toothpaste on a brush and brushing their teeth. They're not even thinking about what Swing Machine is doing. They're just trading. Either they're just trading it mechanically themselves, and or the machine is doing it. That is so empowering, because it's repetitive. It's repetitive. The other thing is, I had another conversation with this today. I had some nice folks that we chatted with. And I'll leave you with this. Our minds as humans, we remember things based on stories, narratives. Wall Street knows this. Madison Avenue knows this. That's why the commercials and everything is based to tell you, feed you narratives, so that you will buy their stock, you will buy their soap, you will buy their cars, whatever it is. They want to tell you a story. We don't trade, we don't buy or sell on narratives. We don't need to. So therefore, we don't need to know what happened yesterday. It's irrelevant. And we're not concerned with what happens tomorrow. Also, as humans, we're concerned with protecting ourselves on the Serengeti plain, right? We don't want to get eaten by the lion. So what's going to happen in 2 hours from now? What's going to happen 2 days from now? We don't have to concern ourselves with that, because we have machinery that will help us. So golfers refer to this, and they did during the US Open. They said they live in the here and the now, in the moment, staying in the moment. Our members it's been described to me. It feels this way to me. It's almost a meditative state. I don't get really high. I don't get really low. Um, I have emotions, but not so much around trading. It's very business-like. We're doing something here that nobody else is doing. And trust me, I see all the shit that's on the Twitter sphere and on the YouTube, and a lot of it's just garbage. And in fact, they're doing just the opposite, hooting and hollering is Bitcoin coming back? And just it's such a waste of time and effort. But you know what? Maybe it's a good thing. So with that, we say thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, be sure to visit the website. You're welcome to call us anytime. And we're going to leave this running for a little bit, and we'll see where the markets go. Please don't get hurt. Don't, we're not doing it so that you can necessarily trade from this. We're not. We're doing it to create awareness. You can say, okay, what's that guy up to? What's he doing? We don't otherwise advertise, and we keep growing steadily. We have a limited number of licenses, annual licenses. Monthly members are unlimited. Annual memberships, there's a set number every year, and we won't go over that. We want to grow responsibly, and we have been growing year after year after year. So it's really a beautiful thing, and it's fun. It really is. It's just been a hoot. So enjoy, and if you have any questions, you can also email us. And have a nice evening. And hopefully the Bolts, go Bolts. Have they scored anything? We'll go check it out. Thanks. And for our members, thank you for your patience. And as well, you get these guys know. I mean, that's how they may have heard from, found out about us too, back months ago, maybe years ago. Good night, everybody. We'll let you watch here for a little bit. We won't be on all night, but it'll be on for another hour or two. Have fun. So let's just look at the 1 minute interval. 71 minutes ago at 8:01, um, swing machine goes long, 3747.75. You're up over 1100. 8:01 NQ at this price, you're up 1850. This one 834, which is the Dow, you're up 580. 834 in the Russell, you're up 415. Gold is trying to get long right now. It's a counter trade to the 5. Oil long 32 minutes ago. At what time? 841. You're up 880. Net gas, I've got to change the symbol on net gas. I think that maybe it is NGN. We'll double check on that. I I don't think it's rolled yet. Um, this again is just, but this is just one tool, and it's our flagship tool. But we have another radar that we call the trade generator, Pebble Beach, which was a forerunner to this when I only traded stocks and options. And that is very, very good. Very, very good. Hey everyone on YouTube, members, of course, hello. I'm just stopping back in, and let's just take a peek. I guess you guys would have seen the market roll over then. So you know pretty active here for an evening session. A little unusual, but not unusual when we have the VIX as high as we have it. So this has been going on for months. Um, this ES went short. You would have seen this. I was in here for 17 minutes ago at 9:42. A mini contract, if you shorted it at 37.63, you're up $750. The NQ 15 minutes ago at 9:44 at this price, and you're up 860, 19. And so you can see this is what Swing Machine does. It's what it does. Now the question will come in and ask all the time, well, where does my stop go? And where do I take my profits and that sort of thing? That's very important. You need to have acquired trading skill, and we work with folks to develop and hone that skill. And there are some some things that need to be thought through. And but in any case, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. If you see this YouTube video live after it's been posted and you want to visit Stock Market Caddy, please do. You're welcome to call us, 813-758-8263. We've been around a long time, but we don't advertise. We just figure the folks that we want to reach, they'll find us because they'll know when they see and talk with us. And we also operate under the assumption, it's a good assumption in that people will make the best decision for themselves, and in the end that's also the best decision for us. So we don't we do put up the Twitter videos and YouTube videos, but we try not to pester anybody. And if anybody is getting an email, we do have a distribution list, but and they want to be taken off, we can always do that. So we try not to spam anybody, but we want to be able to share what we're doing. We're constantly, it was kind of funny. I was just watching a piece on Tucker Carlson. They were talking to a Google engineer about AI, artificially intelligent. Our machines, we are doing that as well, not just hedging, but our machines are making adjustments and will be making more adjustments real time. So this notion that you can put a moving average, it's the 2 crossing the 8 and the MACD doing that is like abacus stuff. That's like our stuff is making decisions real time, and we'll be doing more and more of that. And once you're an annual member, that's it. We make everything available at no additional cost. And from one year to the next, we've had folks that have been with us for years. We try to do something to reduce cost, and we don't increase the price, and we try to do things to increase the value. Not I shouldn't say increase cost. Increase the value. Decrease the cost. I think I said, but we're trying to increase the value, adding value all the time. That's what we're trying to do. So again, thank you. It is 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. We were here for 2 hours. When I left, we were up $1,200 on the long side and a couple grand here. And then in the span of the 20 minutes that I just left, we reversed, go the other way. And a beautiful thing. 24 trading days in a month. If you make 100, I hate to put it this way, but if you make 100, you make $2,400 extra a month. 200, yeah. But there are times when you can do incredible stuff. Today, we'll finish with this. This is the 3-line break. This strategy went on to do, this strategy is still firing. Right? We're not running it, but it did, by the time that we ran it from here to, let me put a vertical line in here. We ran this, I should have done this to this point right here. And I'll paint this line red because that's when we stopped it. So between here and here, it did $7,580. But it's continued to run. And these are big trades. Not all winners, but good night. Good luck, everybody. And call anytime. Enjoy. Have a great rest of the week.